One of my favorite scholars of authoritarianism was Hannah Arendt, and she said, the rise of authoritarianism happens in a society that cannot distinguish anymore between facts and fictions, truth and false. I mean, there's a huge responsibility of our media, of our colleagues, of our newspapers, of our newsroom to hold the line.
The arresting and jailing of journalists in Canada is starting to happen more and more and becoming the norm, that it's actually very, very concerning because we are supposedly living in this democracy and like human rights champion of the world. And yet the journalists that are being targeted and arrested in this country, the majority of us are on the front lines covering the stories of the Indigenous people, of minorities, of these people that are there fighting for their rights.
When it comes to the life of people who look like us, who are people of color, who are women, who are Indigenous, who are not Christian and not white, that threshold is thrown out of the window. And we need to call out the biases and the prejudice in our news organization. That is a threat, not only to democracy, that is a threat for our lives.
And of course, in order to deter me, what they've now started to do is sort of put out videos that show me being hit by a drone, sending the very clear message that, you know, if I carry on, that I'll get killed. I have been unable to return to my country. I was unable to go to my mother's funeral because I know that I would be arrested, but it hasn't stopped. And so, you know, you could ask the question, why am I still writing about Turkey? I'm writing about Turkey because I can write the stories that my colleagues, my very brave colleagues back home can't write about, because if they did, they would go to jail. And there are many of them who are in jail.
Being a journalist, you basically are serving the public. And the most important thing I learned on all these years is to respect the truth and to respect the need of people to know.
And I think it's very important today, if we really care about the survival of democracy and free speech and the safety of journalists, we need to pressure our politicians never to ignore the harassing of journalists, because it's a betrayal of every value we hold dear.